Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. I wanted to share this little storage solution I made this weekend with you, and I purchased some of the Avery L dye storage pockets, and I showed you that in my last haul, and you'll be happy to know I actually put them to use right away. So I'm beginning by taking a shoebox that I cut the lid off and covering it with duct tape to kind of make it beautiful. You probably recognize this duct tape if you watched my DIY blotter video where I made the stamp surface that I'll be using in upcoming videos. Well, this was still laying on my table, and I thought I would make this dye storage to match. So what I've done here is just covered that box with duct tape, and when I got up to the edges, I just kind of went over the edge a little bit with a another pattern that was also on my table, also from the blotter video, and I'm just going to fold that over the edge. Now what this is going to do, not only does it make it look pretty, but it also gives a little more strength to the box. And I'm going to be using this to store dyes, the thin dyes. And I have to thank viewer Sherlock Hako, who sent me some beautiful doubles that she had and a generous box of dyes. And so I needed a way to store them so I could easily access them and the dyes I already had. So a lot of these dyes I kept in their original packaging, and they were working all right, but I was using 2 big baskets to store them. And with the solution that I'm going to show you today, I've actually put as many dyes in half the space. I had a lot of kind of hodgepodge ways of storing things. You can see how much less space these little envelopes take. I could fit 3 die sets in the same amount of space that clamshell packaging had. Now don't worry, I'm not throwing away that packaging. I'm actually going to save it because I use those for disposable palettes. And a lot of times I'll even rinse them out and use them again. So because I teach so many classes, a lot of times I'm teaching classes to kids, I'll bring those along. We'll use those as our glue or paint palettes, and I really get a lot of mileage out of those plastic packaging. And you can also cut them up and use them for shaker boxes and other things too. So don't worry, I love the earth. I'm not throwing them away, and they will get reused many times. But as far as my storage, this is going to suit me so much nicer. Now the Avery L packets that I'm using there, I got on sale, so I got like 25 for about $6, but in a Hallmark scrapbook has them for about the same price as Joann's did on sale. If you want to get them there, I'll put links to both underneath. But then I found on Amazon they had a package of 500 for $18, and somebody commented and saying it was the same exact thing. So just want to give you that information too. I did order some because I thought they'd be handy to store other things, and I'll let you know when my order comes on Wednesday, if anybody's interested, how they stack up. So I did have to trim. I had some of my sets on magnets, the ones that came from Doris head magnets in the packaging, so I just put the whole shebang right in those pockets. But I had this like 6x6 album I picked up at the Dollar Tree a few years ago that I used to store all my dies on, and it worked great, but I couldn't find any more of those albums, so I'm just taking the magnet sheets out of there and putting them in these Avery L packets. Now for situations where I have a stamp set and dies, like my local King stamps here, I have a few that have the dies that match. I'm just putting the dies and the stamps together in one packet. I do have to cut down the artwork that came with the set so they'll fit, but not a big deal. The stamp sets and the dies fit just fine together in one envelope there. I figured since I don't have that many stamps with dies to match, this is going to be the best solution. I'll just put them both in the same envelope and I'll be good to go. Now I didn't put everything in an envelope because some of the packaging was just fine, like the spellbinders that come on the cardboard. Packaging worked just fine the way it was, and so I figured why waste a packet on that, and I did end up using up all 50 that I bought. So maybe I'll spread them out a little bit as I go, like the memory box ones. I don't think I put those in packets because I didn't have enough. But look, I can flip through everything. It's easy to find. I have my stamps with dies towards the front, and I have like my kind of picture-y dies in the middle. Then I have all my nested ones in the back, and the nested ones are the ones I go to the most often. And then the big Stephanie Bernard Sizzix ones that Sherlock gave me are in the way back. And I'm going to make a little label here using my chalk markers and my chalkboard labels. So that I'll know what's in the box. Obviously, I don't have that many. It's all in one box, so I should be able to tell. But if someone is crafting in my space and they're not exactly sure, they'll be able to find it very easily. And in a second, you'll get to see my box of dies on the shelf where I store them in my die cut area. So I kind of keep all my dies in this little area of my studio. It's a little darker over here, but you get the gist. I'd probably just pull that box right down onto my table and flip through all my stuff. I was trying to hold the camera and look in there at the same time. It wasn't working, but you can kind of see where it's situated in my studio. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And until next time, happy crafting.